Count out. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. We are live at Expert35. I'm your host, Gabriel Garcia. And today we got one of our OGs, Jennifer Johnson. Jennifer, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. It's my favorite.
Oh, it's so good having you. 2021, we're turning the page. As promised, we're talking about the hardship, the challenges, and the opportunities, bringing you experts from 35 different industries. And today we're going to talk real estate. We're talking about real estate as an opportunity, real estate as a safeguard, real estate as the investment. And nobody better than Jennifer Johnson, who's a concierge realtor. If you want to join the conversation, go ahead and text Expert35 to the number on the screen. This is live, so we're going to take questions. And man, I mean, I told her earlier, like, ask hard questions. Like, this is what we were here for, to really get in there. And Jennifer's like, no hard questions. But I mean, this is a conversation to really get us off the ground and help us understand what is really happening in 2021. Again, OG expert Jennifer Johnson. Text Expert28 if you want to get in touch with her. Because again, realtors, they're professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You don't charge for your services, right, Jennifer? You earn every part of that commission by helping us find a home, find an investment home, sell a home. Tell us a little bit about what Concierge Realty that you coined is.
Well, it's great to be back. I love this. So I think I'm the first one back after your break. So it's good to be back. A concierge realtor takes care of everything behind the scenes. That's me. And so you don't have to leave work. You don't have to change your schedule. Say, for instance, if you're buying a house and you need work done before you move in, I'll meet the painter, the plumber, the HVAC, and I have a vast network of people that I trust and highly recommend. So all that behind the scenes stuff, I'll take care of. I won't ever call you to leave work.
So important to understand that you need a professional. It's not just like everybody like, oh, there's websites I can just put for sale by owner. But buying and selling, especially during COVID, is even that much harder, right? What's the market look like right now, Jennifer?
The market is good. We had a little blip in April, then we picked right back up, and it's booming. If it's priced right in a good location, it's flying off. I mean, I was helping somebody in Pearland. It was days on the market and it was gone. And these were probably all cash offers, full price, over asking price. So if you find something, you love it, take it. Don't hesitate.
Right. So, let's talk about investments, right? First of all, Happy New Year. I had a little post on there. Happy New Year 2021. Let's talk about investment opportunities because it is an opportunity to sell, but it's also an opportunity to like build a nest egg, right? Interest rates are low. What do you think we should do?
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got several choices, and usually 99.9% of the time, real estate is a great investment choice. People have built their wealth with real estate. There are three things you can do. You can do a rental property, you can get a second home, or you can invest in your current home or an upgrade or a different home. And there are different levels of what we need to do. We can talk about each of them if you want. But if you do, let's say, for instance, if you want rental properties, my husband and I have a couple rental properties, and it's really nice when it's full. If you've got vacancy, that can be a lean month. You need to, so before you go in, you really need to look at all the variables.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at what this price means, and you have to factor in that your unit is going to be empty sometimes.
This is a great question. Barbara Blades is asking, since COVID, right, is it important to have like a home office? So what do you think about that? And maybe what do you think about that in terms of an investment property too?
Absolutely. People need a place to work at home. And sometimes people are looking for two offices. I'm working with a client now and she wants a home office. I'm like, well, do you need two home offices? And she said no. But and people are at home. That's been great for the construction guys. Like, you look at your floor for
Right.
6 months, you're like, I need a new floor. So, and
Right.
that's a good investment in your own home.
Well, yeah, and that's what that's actually something we're going to have plenty of questions on, right? You said there's three ways to really invest. We can buy an investment property, right? You can buy a second home. What was the other one? What was the third one?
Mhm. And upgrade to your own home, make improvements to your own
Mhm.
home.
I think it's so interesting that people wait so long to like update their home and then they sell it. Like this is the time to upgrade your home and live in it. Maybe add that little room. Maybe fix the floors. Like, where would you put that money? Where's the smart money in in your own home?
You can't go wrong. There's the cat. You can't go wrong with kitchens or bathrooms. Those sell a
Uh huh.
house, especially the kitchen and the master bath. Um, and but the trick is you need to work with a professional with this. The trick is not to
Hmm.
over invest, because if you outprice yourself out of the neighborhood, you're not going to get that return on investment. So no matter what you do, they're not going to pay you for it, because that's not what the market demands in that particular neighborhood. I was helping a client. We were looking at a house and they put so much into it. The sellers put so much into it, and it was just way over asking price in the neighborhood. And
Hmm.
it's just not going to fetch that.
Well,
So
people are
that's
home.
that's a
People
hard,
are
because they're out that money.
Yeah, people are home. People are spending more time. I like the office idea, but what about the yard? What about like, hey, let's get a pool, right? Is that something that's raising pricing? What's your yay or nay on the pools?
Buy a pool because you want to swim in it and you want to enjoy it. Do not buy a
Hmm.
pool for an investment. People are funny about pools. You'll get some back, but you're not going to get all of it
Right.
back. So if you want a pool, buy it to enjoy it
Actually, this is a good question. When you're
or
buying,
build it.
you're saying it's a seller's market, so there's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of competition. You said put an offer, get in there, but you definitely need an inspection. Jan is asking how many inspections and what type of inspections should one get on a new home, or if they're buying a home that's new for them.
Well, you want an overall inspection for sure. And that's when the option period comes in. You can put a contract in and then you have an option period, usually of 10 days. And that's when you can get all your inspections done and do your, find out about the house. So a home inspection, general home inspection is good. I suggest a termite inspection. It's not, Houston is full of termites. It's not a matter of if you're going to get termites, it's a matter of when you get termites. So you want to see what's going on in the house with a termite inspection. Mold inspection is good. See if there's been any water issues in the house, what's going on. And
Right.
and foundation, if you think foundation issues, get a structural engineer out there. And I know these cost money, but it will save you in the long run by you'll know what's ahead of you. So if you want to go ahead and purchase the house, that's fine. You can negotiate the price, but then you won't have any surprises once you move in and you realize, oh, well, the foundation's bad, so we've got to fix the foundation.
And Jana is an insurance, so she'll probably appreciate this. Ask the insurance agent about flooding, or like how much it's going to cost to insure that, or what's happened in that area before, because they can give you feedback on that, right?
Absolutely, yes. The insurance, I work with a great insurance person. They have access to the floodplains, the flood history. They can't pinpoint to an exact address, but they do have a general idea of what's going
Hmm.
on in the area.
Here's another interesting area, right? Like we're talking about investment properties. What's your idea about having somebody, an HOA, or homes that are closer together that belong part of an HOA? Are those still good investments?
They're good. I prefer a single family residence in an established neighborhood.
Hmm.
I think those are a safer bet. But if you're buying a cluster home, that may be a good rental.
Hmm.
Younger people like those. They like the amenities. They like that you can walk to places.
Right.
Most of them are central, and there's no yard. So
Well, in some cases, and HOAs are great because they manage things, but they also sometimes manage too much, right? And so that's important. Like, make sure that you don't get into a situation where your renters, they leave the hose out and like things like that. If
yep.
it can be challenging to work within the confines of an HOA. So be aware that Greg has a great question. I guess it's tied into the HOA. What about? Wait, did I put the right one in? Yeah. What about management companies? Cost and benefits. So, what do you believe? Do you believe that's a great way to do investments right now?
You mean have someone manage the properties you're buying?
Correct.
It depends. If you've got time and you can do repairs and you can manage the repairs, and you can manage the problems that come up or the issues, then that's fine. A lot of people have multiple units, multiple properties, so they rely on a property management company. It's all a personal decision. It just depends on the time and dedication you have to put into it. Some people don't have the bandwidth
Yeah,
to do it.
look at the ROI. If you don't know how to fix it, and they can, it helps, right? So, and they can manage your time management for that. Barbara's got another great question. With our global traveler changes, are you seeing a rise in a second home, beach, lake, range homes?
Absolutely, yes. Wouldn't that been nice? We have a place in Miami, but it's a little too far to drive for the day, and you couldn't fly. So yes, people are buying second homes, hour, 2 hours, three away from their current home, just to get away, get a place to get out of a different scenario and enjoy it. The trick is here, and that makes a great investment. But if you're interested in renting it out and you're not there, make sure you work with your realtor to find out what those restrictions are. Because I would hate for you to get into a house. I wouldn't let you do it and not know that, oh no, Airbnb is not allowed or short-term rentals are not allowed. Then that factors into your budget. So that's something you need to know up front.
Yeah, and if you're buying a house, whether it's a second home or your personal home, what are the things you should look at? I mean, this is what a realtor helps you with. Like, what's the big photo, big picture ideas?
Well, location, you can't miss location. Yeah. And you look at if you're looking in different neighborhoods, construction trends, are people building new houses? Is it stagnant? Has the new wave hit that development yet? Look at schools, and personally look at your commute time. I always ask my clients, if you're buying a new house in a new neighborhood, I want you to get in the car and travel it during part of the day in which you're really going to be traveling, and see what those traffic patterns are.
Yeah. I tell people, sit in the lawn, like sit where you want to sit, like sit out there, and then sit at night too. I actually avoided a property because I sat there and I looked at night and I was like, wow, like it was a very transient place because it was near that Greyhound station downtown, and it was far enough away from it that I think it didn't matter, but it actually was between a shelter and the Greyhound station. So our street was like a parade, and I just that wasn't for me. It was a great location, and as far as business and everything else was great, but if you want to have family, look at schools, look at the neighbors. You can't choose your neighbors, but at least you can try to get your neighbors, right? And interest rates are so low. Do you think that's part of what's boosting this, or do you think it's also the fact that people are trying to get away and like get more space because now they're home all the time? What do you think it's really pushing it?
Well, people want to get away. People want to have a reprieve from their own home. But interest
Mhm.
rates really are good. This is a good time to buy. It's a good time to refinance. This is a good time to buy a second property. And it doesn't have to be anything big and fancy. It could just be something you enjoy going, lake or
Mhm.
a beach, or beaches are going to be a little more expensive, but just something you enjoy.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a second home. It really can be an investment because it gives you that extra space, but you want to enjoy it. You want to upgrade it to like things that become useful for you. I feel like buying the home and just holding it isn't necessarily the investment. It's like really do something with it, right? Either rent it out or just make it like a retreat that gives you that vacation you've been looking for, right?
Yeah, or share it with friends and family. I'll go somewhere.
Invite your concierge realtor to come and stay with you. Now, the really question is
I'll bring good wine.
perfect. What are the areas, right, in Houston that you see are like up and coming, good investment areas?
I love Acres Homes.
Hmm.
It is booming over there, and the lots are big, and we've got new development over there. It's still
Hmm.
transitional, but I think it's a great area. I like the south side near Scott Street in that little pocket there.
Hmm.
Great opportunity, still very transitional, but the new houses are coming in. and if you drive them, you can see,
Right.
it's, you know, you got old, new, old, new. So follow the trends. Use your realtors. They know where this is, and they'll do the research for you.
Mhm. And that's actually really important, is like, what are ways to find a realtor? Should you just go with the realtor that's selling that house, or should you like interview a few realtors? What's a good way to pick your realtor?
Ask your friends who they've used, who they've liked. Look at their reviews on HAR.
Hmm.
And call them and talk to them and see if you have a rapport with them and they understand what you're looking
Right.
for. This is not about what the realtor's looking for. They will
Right.
guide you and they will help you and they will give you all the information. But this is about you and what you want.
Yeah, and it's a relationship. You want to make sure you have a good fit from the beginning, and you really want to make sure that you drive, because this is a big financial decision. Whether it's your first home or your second home, a lot of people, this is the largest decision. So we'll do a little bit of shout out. Like, make sure you get pre-approved as well, right? Especially in this market. What are your like?
Yep.
What are things that you would want if somebody's like, "Hey, I want to buy a house." You know, what should they bring with them?
Well, get a pre-approval letter, and if you don't have one, I can totally help you with that. Bring an
Hmm.
open mind. If you're buying in a hot neighborhood and you have to make a decision quickly, and you can't be picky about the wall color or the
Right.
carpet. Those can be changed. Those are easy to change. So you don't want to lose out on a house that way. And this is an emotional decision. So you want somebody who's the rock
Right.
and helps you through the stressful
And that
times.
you mentioned something
Yeah.
really interesting. So this is a seller's market. So you should have a realtor that understands what you're talking about, that they can be like, no, we can move that wall, we can change that paint, we can change that carpet, right? Like, because you're not going to find the perfect home unless
Yep.
you're like, I mean, it's going to be incredibly difficult. You're mostly going to have to upgrade things, especially because if it's a seller's market, that doesn't mean the seller needs to do anything to really get the sale, right? Like, they're not going to adjust their price and adjust things for you because there's somebody behind you that's also going to pay the same price.
Basically, unless it's in disrepair. So that's when the inspection comes
Mhm.
back and then you can negotiate repairs.
So, do you think with this economy and with COVID, do you think it's a good opportunity to buy a fixer upper as well, and or is it hard to get contractors and get that house up and running for and get it leased?
I think I was helping someone who was interested in flipping and doing renovation to rent.
Hmm.
And no, there are lots of opportunities out there, lots of little pockets in the neighborhood. It's just, you have to see beyond what's there now and look in the future. And an agent can help you with that. They can pull trends and
Hmm.
research and stuff.
No, and if you look at the trends in Houston, we have the largest number of independent contractors registered, because a lot of these larger companies had to downsize a little bit, and a lot of people started their own business. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
new contractors. So just do your research, right? But if they have good referrals and you know they don't have a brand new set of tools, it's probably somebody you could work and build a team around yourself. If you're going to look at investments, all right, build a team. That's one of the things I really like about Jennifer, and the fact that you're like this concierge realtor. Like, you bring your team with you, right? I mean, you help somebody buy a house, but you got the
Mm.
plumber right there, you've got the roofer, you got the guy, you've got Stallion Solutions as the roofer, you got Floor to Love. I mean, I know some of your guys because you actually helped my mom buy a home. So I'm not just a hype man, I'm a customer.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
no, like, it's really important. It's a great opportunity to get into the investment world of real estate. My favorite part of the show, we talk about three things we should do right now. So hold on, let me put up. I'm a little rusty. This is our first time back. So there you go. Three things to do now. Go ahead, Jennifer. Go.
If you're shopping, you have to have an open mind. Keep in mind that it's not going to be perfect and you can change things. You do your homework, research, drive the neighborhoods, and third, hire a professional. This is what that you need a professional to be your advocate and your voice and to know the rules. And a professional is there to protect you. It is all for your protection. The Texas Real Estate Association is totally geared toward consumers. So it's a protection base for you. A good realtor will. Yeah.
Such good points. So timely. The market's hot. Interest rates are super low, but people are still getting burned. So make
Still low.
sure you work with a professional. Oh, and I think we talked about it. Like, don't use your money for an investment, right? Like, borrow. Like, interests are low. So,
Borrow.
yeah,
Mhm.
and do the math, right? Make sure you're not putting yourself in a position that hurts you. Make sure your job is sustainable. Make sure you can get those, those investments. But I love your strategy of being this concierge realtor. You've been working for Douglas Elliman, but you take over everything. I mean, you're like the one phone call to get the floors fixed, to get everything, the house shown, and especially in this COVID world. Tell us a little bit about how that's really impacted and all the things that you've had to deal with, right? Like, what are the little things that you would take on as a concierge realtor?
Well, due to COVID, it's funny because Houston is such a dynamic
Mm.
city and such a great, strong economy. We took a little hit in April and it just kind of picked right back up. So we're very lucky. I say it every day. We're very lucky to live in Houston, Texas. If you're not in Houston, come visit. You're going to love it. It's a little hot in the summer, but we're not
Right.
shoveling snow. And so yeah, I do know a lot of people. Gabriel and I know a lot of the same people, and these are good guys, good vendors, good support team that we trust. So we feel comfortable recommending them. I'm not going to give you anyone I don't trust.
Well, and you're
So
like a concierge, so you're like a
that wouldn't help you.
one stop shop, right? We list the property with you, and you're letting the plumber in, and you're fixing things up. I mean, you really manage the whole operation, right?
Every step of the way. Yes. I don't want you to be stressed out. And this is an emotional journey. So the less stress you have, the better.
Right. Well, Jennifer, so good having you on the show. So important information. I mean, people are looking at ways to grow into the, different parts of the investment market. I really do like some of the pointers you said in terms of like, hey, fix your own property, right? As you're living it. Good pointers on the pool. It's and the areas, right? So we're gonna put some of those notes on. We're gonna let Jennifer go and answer. There's other questions that we didn't get to. So Jennifer, please stick around and answer some of those questions and put those pointers again, like school districts, trends. Like the realtor is gonna help you, and somebody like Jennifer's expertise, really shine through, especially in a time like this, because it is a big purchase. It's a scary purchase, but especially in a seller's market, you want to have somebody on your team that knows the market and has your interests in it. Right? You're not a transactional lawyer. I mean, a lawyer, a realtor. So,
God, I'm not one of those.
so it's important. It's like pick someone, and if you want to join the conversation, if you want to hear more from Jennifer, text Expert28 and you'll get all her contact. Jennifer, so good having you on the show.
Oh, okay. So much fun. Thanks for having me. I feel honored to be the first one back.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. We'll let you go on the notes. All right. Thank you for being. We'll have you back soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was Jennifer Johnson, concierge realtor. Next week, we're going to talk about estate planning, especially if you're buying a home. And we're actually going to talk about special needs. If you have a special needs adult and member in your family, how to look at real estate and read properties and how to manage everything properly to really make sure that you don't pay taxes in the transfer and you set your family up for success. So Shalini is going to be in the air. Then we're going to talk about marketing because it's 2021. And we're going to really talk about getting everything ready for success. So we're back, Expert35, as promised, experts from 35 different industries. Thank you for joining me. My name is Gabriel, and we'll see you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We educate during difficult times. We collaborate at Expert35. This is for a better tomorrow and a better today. Let's come together and together we will find a way. You got questions, we got solutions. You got problems, we got resolutions. Visit Expert35.com. No need to worry, just remain calm.